Hey guys, Enil79 with the Survivalist Mindset. I am tired. I'm wore out. It's been an absolutely exhausting week. And I owe you guys a big apology. I was going out on the bug out simulation camping trip. I was going to shoot a lot of video for you guys to review many of the different products that we've talked about, see how they actually work in the field in a real application and not just on the tabletop. And unfortunately, none of that video happened. We got out to the campsite Friday evening. It was late and dark by the time we got there, and it was a struggle to get camp set up in the dark, but we did it. The next morning we woke up, decided to get the fire going good and get some breakfast in us. I went out to collect more firewood. I was gone from camp for just a little while. And when I returned, my stepfather, who was with us, was not breathing. He was non-responsive. He was cold. And I thought for sure that he was no longer with us. I thought he had passed. He did have a faint pulse, and I heard a little wisp of a breath. So I figured he was still alive. My cell phone didn't work very good, so I had to run over to a clearing to get reception so that I could, get emergency services coming. It took the sheriff and the ambulance a little while to get there. We were out quite a ways. But they did make it out there, and once the ambulance was there and got him stabilized, they transported him to the hospital, and the doctor checked him out and said that he needed a new heart valve right away. So they did that procedure, and he is now out of the ICU and on his way to recovery. The moral of this story is that even though I was not able to shoot the video that I wanted to shoot for you guys right now, the trip was not lost. There were many valuable lessons to be learned from this trip. The first that I'd like to talk to you all about is not only knowing where you're going, but being able to accurately give someone directions to where you're going. Be very familiar with where it is you're going and what it is you're doing, and be able to articulate that to someone. The first problem that I encountered once I got the emergency services on the line was to be able to describe to them where we were, because we weren't on the beaten path, so to speak. We were out a little ways, and describing to them where we were and how to find us was a challenge. I was able to do it, and they were able to get there in pretty decent time. But that's the first thing. If you're going to go out and plan a trip, now if you're bugging out, that's a whole different situation, and that leads me into the second lesson learned, is that if this were a real situation and we were really bugged out, there would not be any help to come. And then you have to come to terms within yourself as to how you're going to react to certain situations, because things can come up at any time. This was completely unexpected, and you need to be prepared emotionally and physically and spiritually. You need to be prepared to deal with really bad situations. Think about that ahead of time. What happens if a member of my group goes down? Then you can relate all this back to the 7 principles. And I know I owe you guys another video, the 7th principle. I'm still working on it. But this particular situation, we used I for improvisation. I had to improvise my way through. I used N for no negative thinking. I kept a positive attitude towards the whole thing. I'm not saying that kept him alive, but it certainly didn't hurt anything. D for decisiveness. You have to decide. Am I going to stay here next to this guy and watch him die, or am I going to get up and am I going to run to a clearing where I get signal and get some help coming? So that's decisiveness. The list goes on and on. The S for self-assurance. If you're not confident in what you're doing, you're not going to be able to give someone the help that they need potentially. The E for education. I think that the time that I spent in the Army covers that. I would probably not have reacted the same way had I not been in situations similar in the past. So, as you can see, all this kind of ties together. There are 100 different videos, more than that, probably 1 million different videos you can watch on how to start a fire, or a review of a particular knife, or how to pack your bug out bag. And I touch on those things. But what I really want to drive home is getting your mindset right. And when you're faced with an emergency situation, whether it is a catastrophic end of the world thing, or whether it's a very personal, localized event, you'll be better prepared to deal with that problem and move on. This video, guys, was just basically to give you an update on how the camping trip went, and to apologize to you all for not getting the stuff to you that I said I would. And I still will. It's just kind of been pushed back a little bit. And just to let you all know that I'll keep all you in my prayers, and I hope that you will all do the same for me. As always, guys, I really appreciate your views and your support, your comments. I'd like to thank Goose Arrow, and you can check out her channel, and also Mike DeFeo, who's a longtime viewer of mine, for their emails of support. I really appreciate it. And just keep in mind, guys, this is a prime example. The only certainty in life is change. God bless y'all.